There she is! I designed a sweater, and this design was purely based on yarn that I purchased at Knit and Escape. So Dye Lot Studio, Diane, was vending, and she put together this gorgeous mini skein kit of DK weight yarn called Kristy in Wonderland. And I loved it so much that I purchased it. And as soon as it arrived, I thought, you know what? I want to see all of this yarn featured on a sweater in a really specific, beautiful way. Almost like I'm going to a museum exhibit and I can see each color presented in a few different ways. So the few different ways are baubles and in this cuff. So you see stockinette stitch in the baubles, and then you see garter stitch in the cuff. And we worked together to figure out what would be the best base to support this museum exhibit of a sweater. And she dyed this beautiful chartreuse green for me. And I just think it's so right. And one of the reasons, as you can see, the color in the body is reflected in the cuff and some of the baubles, as there are some special green speckles in her colors. There are about 70 baubles on this sweater, and the idea of the sweater is that they're more concentrated on one side and then they dissipate across the sweater. I'm calling this sweater the after sweater because it's a very out there sweater, because having these 3D baubles on your sweater that are so high contrast to the body, it's really calling attention to itself, and it is a party. And in the after, I know people are so anxious to be together again and to share joy and be out there with their fashion and their attitudes and positivity. And this concept here is that something is all concentrated and then it gradually decreases. So hopefully you understand that meaning a little bit. It is a top-down sweater, and the baubles are choose your own adventure. So I have about 70 baubles on this sweater. You choose the placement. There is a picture, a schematic for you to look at, and you can definitely go with the idea of concentrated and dissipating, which is more avant-garde, or you can put them wherever you want. Some people are evenly spacing them out, just whatever you want. I did a couple on my sleeve. You can do that if you want. You can do it all the way down, all over the body. Just keep in mind that your baubles are going to take about a half a gram of yarn, so you can decide how much yarn you need for the baubles. I had plenty left over after doing 70 baubles and the cuffs, so I just want to show you, this is my 20-gram DK weight mini skein, and I still have quite a bit left. So I'm looking forward to using this Kristy in Wonderland kit on more projects. I designed this bauble pattern myself. When you get the pattern, there is a video to go with it, so it shows you exactly how to make the bauble. I love it because there's a little bit of asymmetry to it, and what's great about it is you can just tie it on the wrong side of your sweater and be done with it. There's no weaving in ends. You just do a really good knot and you clip and you're done. So that's what I love about it. The other thing is in the cuff, when you feature all of the yarns again in your cuff, you can choose how you place it. And my cuffs are cousins. They're not twin sisters. So I thought that was really fun to be able to just put together the yarns wherever you want. I used 10 different colors. And when you make your sweater, you can use just one color if you want and have baubles and cuffs. You can use just a few colors, whatever you want to do. It's a great stash buster. If you don't want this exact one, you can use your stash and have baubles coming from all different places. Even fingering weight yarn that you have, you can hold it double to make a bauble. You could have every single bauble be unique. Really, there are so many different fun possibilities with this sweater. The sweater is available at knitandescape.com in our virtual shop. I will link to it underneath this video. And for a limited time, you can get yourself a Dye Lot Studio kit. So you can get the Kristy in Wonderland mini skeins. You can get a base yarn as well. All of the options are in our shop for you to choose from. I chose to make my sweater a little bit cropped. There are notes in the pattern about altering it. I used 3 skeins of DK and just a little bit more, but this still has over 100 grams of yarn. So for my size, which was probably the 32-34, it's just about 3 skeins of DK weight yarn, which is, I think, under 900 yards. Plus, you have to keep in mind, with the cuffs and the baubles, I used about 35 grams of yarn for that. I cannot wait to see all the different versions of the after sweater. Just like everyone has had lots of ideas and creativity while being quarantined for these past few years, it's really time to communicate all that we've been thinking about, and what better way to do it than in a sweater. I loved making it so much, I want to make another one. So these baubles, it might seem like a lot, but it's actually really, really fun to decide which color is going to come next and to see how it comes about when you're making it. If you know how to knit backwards, that will really help you in your bauble technique. I don't, so I am knitting and purling back and forth to make my bauble, but I just really enjoyed making it, and I really hope that you do too. Head on over to Knit and Escape to get everything you need to make your bauble sweater, and I will see you next time here on Kristy Glass Knits. Bye!